call with you guys right.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, we're on a live call, I guess, right? So,
Yeah.
okay,
Hey,
cool.
Mike.
Well, hey, what's up, man? What is going on? All right, so Craig, Ian, awesome. What's up, my man? Everybody. So I don't know how many people are going to jump on. Again, I'll just be honest with you. I did a terrible job of promoting this again this week. I just put it on my channel, and people people grab it that want it, and some people don't even find out about it. But it's all good in the hood. We will get to going on here. So the big thing that I want to talk about with this actual training here is I want to help you figure out how to lay out your course, and I want you to think about how you can actually approach the market with it and turn it into something called money. And I want to make this easier for you because a lot of people over stress this and they make it something that it's not. And that's just okay. That's just what happens. It's just the way it is. But we can actually, we can make it easier, and we can eliminate a lot of this fear, because I see it inside of the community. People are, imposter syndrome is still the leading cause of people not doing anything because they don't think that they're good enough to do it, or they don't think that anybody would listen to them, or they're not expert enough, or whatever. And then the other one is, why would somebody pay me? Or, um, and then people just don't know how to actually create it, sell it, put it together, all of that stuff. So of the people that are on, this will work best if we communicate back and forth, obviously. And hopefully it can stay this small, because then you guys get super like time with me. Okay. And I'm cool with this. I've been on calls since like 8 o'clock this morning. So um, I'm down for a little smaller group. So what is up with everybody? Like, how you guys doing? Like, who's here to try to figure out the course thing? What's your problem? Like, let me know. So since we got a small group here, we can work together pretty easy. What is everybody's biggest problem? Let's start there, because in reality, I could talk about all kinds of stuff, but why don't we just talk about what you need the most help with? So who wants to go
Gina,
first?
I'll go first. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gina and I are putting together you might have heard of it, the becomeamodeluniversity.com website.
Got it.
And she's in the modeling industry. I'm in the business side. We're partnering up, and we put together a website. We've put together a funnel. I actually have a private call with you at 4:30 Pacific time today. And so we're not sure what we don't know, I guess. But we've come a long way from your expertise, and I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Learned a lot about ChatGPT and getting information together and creating a funnel and putting the website together based on the problems that people are having. The main issue we were having, or at least we were thinking we were having, was actually getting models, because we want to have 15 different models be our coaches. And then I just came across a few minutes ago this website called collabster.com, where you can hire models and get them to do lives for you, and we could get jump started with our content fairly quickly, and then supplement it later with what our thought was, which was to do retired supermodels, hopefully at some point, to teach our courses. So if that's a possibility, but at least we can get jump started with this collabster.com website. Is the first one I've seen in terms of hiring people. So we don't know what we don't know, and throw it back to you. And Gina, if you have anything to add, thanks for your time, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I didn't know how easy it would be to get people to sign on. So I guess, like, obviously I want to get the most qualified people to work with, because I want them to create the most in-depth, content for our site. So I guess I thought I would just seek out my friends, but I realize now, like, up front, I need to come up as like a business. I need to come up with like a strategy to approach them, as far as like how I'm going to pay them, because I'm launching and I don't really know how valuable these videos, how much I need to pay them to get a really good qualified candidate. So I don't know, like, when you're creating content, you want it to be the most, just as good as it can be, so that, like, the courses are good and it keeps building, and we're known as like a really reputable company.
Right.
So
So
thank you, modeling school.
What's that?
It's essentially going to be an online modeling school.
Got it. Okay. No, that's good. So here's the first thing that I always start out with. And before I'd like dive in and we'd start going, but the one thing that I've learned so far being in this now for as long as I have is this wheel has been created. We're not reinventing the wheel. Somebody's already doing what you want to do right now at, millions of dollar levels, right? So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, the first question I have now is like, who are you trying to be like, or who would you like to be like? And I know you don't want to be like somebody else because you're going to fix the cracks in the wheel. That's what we really want to be doing here is somebody's already made this wheel, this modeling wheel. Somebody's already really, really good at this. Like they've forgot mostly all the stuff they needed to even know to do it. They've been doing it for so long. And you can improve this, you can make it better, you can do all of that stuff. But who is already doing it? Who is somebody that you want to be like in your younger stage here? Like, what is the person look like that is a good model to that could do that?
Yeah, I feel that now everyone goes, especially our, I don't want to say audience, but the people that we're trying to seek out are the younger generation. They're going to be, teenage girls primarily. So I feel that, my generation of girls, when they were seeking to become a model, they either met someone that helped them and they kind of went into it blindly, or they maybe went to one of these modeling schools, like John Casablancas. And I remember I was asked to teach at one of those places after I'd worked 1 year in New York. I did like Fashion Week and I walked for various designers. And then I thought, gosh, this John Casablancas is making a lot of money, for these girls. And I'm thinking, so the concept of bringing it to online, I'm just trying to figure out how to do it as effectively as John Casablancas has, but on a more, initially the videos are more like standard information, but then after they get through those, it's more of like, okay, I've met this contact in the industry and they can be like a big brother or big sister and help me navigate and cultivate my career. So I don't really know who's done that really well as far as, I guess you could say your agent, but they're, you're like a number for them. So I don't really know that this concept has been created as far as for the girls to have an option to have that personal tutor, that personal go-to industry professional that they feel that they can trust, and then their parents as well, because a lot of these girls, they have parents that know absolutely nothing about the industry. So they're just going into it like trusting that the people that they're, are leading them in the right direction. So, and I know a lot of parents are skeptical about letting their kids get into it because there's a lot of negative talk about the industry. Some of it's like, not real. Some of it is, So I don't really know how to compare it to other, I don't know of any like really well-known successful online modeling schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really know how to compare it to other online modeling schools, but that's generally like the concept, the idea I'm going forward with. Like it's a more intimate approach after they get the basics and then they feel like they have someone, I was talking about this with my girlfriends yesterday. I went out to lunch with a couple of friends of mine that are both models, hoping to like gain their interest, but they're just so busy. They're still working and like they're in their mid to late 30s and they're all getting like married and pregnant and still trying to keep their modeling career going, So I don't know how like to grab their interest at this point because I just feel like they're just at this point in their lives where they're just, I don't know. I guess they'll do it if they want to just help me, I guess. But they haven't really come up with even like I was creating like a, like a summary of what it is to try and post it to this casting site to like find like, like 500 applicants and just see who the best one is that has like time to create this content for me, So that will do it for like a certain price. So I know it's a lot. I just said a lot, but like, this is kind of what I'm thinking, where I'm going with it all. So
No, it's great. So let me ask you this. Are you right now somebody that wishes they could be a model? Maybe you're like just now a teen and, you know, you would say it a little different, but you would be like, I'm going to pitch this, okay? Because you basically gave me the entire answer and it's right under your nose. It's just you're too close to the fire. You can't see it. So here's what it
yeah.
is. It doesn't matter about any of those other things. You've got two prospects before I do the little pitch thing that I'll probably butcher, but give you an idea that'll help you, okay? So there's two prospects. Number one, you are trying to, in essence, get leads and sell people on the idea of being a coach for you that are previous models, have the experience to even coach somebody to become an actual model. And then your other prospect is the actual young gal or young guy or whatever that wants to be a model and they want to be coached by you to become one easier, faster, better for sure. So yeah, as so far so good on that. Okay. So the next thing is this. Think about it like this. Hey, you used to be a model, right? And you're really good at it. You made a great living at it and you don't want to leave that industry. And you remember when you were a little girl or a little guy and you really wanted to do that, but it was so hard, right? You had to go to modeling school. It's like if you knew somebody, that was really the only way to get in. Is like if you knew the new, and you were in the end. Well, listen, we've changed that completely and we need your help. And literally, if you can really get your head around this, you're going to be able to actually now take what you've got experience doing, what you've been so excited and passionate about for years now, and you get to hand that over to the next girl or guy, and you can show them how to be the best model, the one that you always wanted to dream to be, but maybe you either got there or you didn't, but you know what you would do different. What if you could make just as much or more money than you're making as a model, stay in the industry, and be a part of the next echelon or the next level or layer of the models that are going to be out there, presenting all the fashions and the different things? If that's something that you're interested in, I want to show you an opportunity here. I'll show you the math. I'll show you how it works. And you get to decide if this is something that you can now plug into so you don't have to get out of that industry and you can still live the great life, do the things that you love to do, be completely engulfed in the industry that's changed your own life. Go ahead and opt in here and let me show you what this looks like. And then on the next page, you explain what it is that you explained to me and you actually sell them on becoming a coach and knowing how to do that. And then you get to get them on a vetting call where basically they're going to fill out a survey, answer 5 to 10 questions that allow you to even know if you need to get on a call with them, because you'll know what to ask them to find out if they are indeed the person that you need to talk to. Because I'm assuming, you being a model yourself, that you could probably create the content yourself if you absolutely needed to. Most people that are going into something like this typically are the ones that can do it themselves. You're just looking for a different way to do it that's more obviously time efficient and profitable. So far, so good on that. So that's just an idea. It could be wrong or right, but just hold with me there. The next thing that you're doing is, hey, have you always dreamed of being a model, but it's like you got to be in the who's who, or maybe you don't even know if you've got what it takes to be that, but you actually want to be that. Like you are dead set. I am going to be a model someday. I'm going to do this as a profession, as a living, but you have no idea how to do it. I want you to imagine for a moment that there was just a set of things that you had to actually do to get in front of the right people at the right time with the right thing to get you into modeling. But imagine you had somebody that's already been there, done that, and they could actually coach you and walk you through it. And it would happen 100 times easier, 100 times faster, and you'd probably get the gig that you've always dreamed of. And then imagine having that coach help you successfully move through that whole process instead of you having to go to these weird agencies that are probably just going to look down on you, and you don't even know what you're going to send in your portfolio, and they're going to bring you in and you're going to be a model for some Jeep commercial for some safety thing. And that's not at all what you wanted to do. You wanted to actually be on the cover, on the runway, on the things, but you have no idea how to do that. We have just now started this new program where we're going to actually help you through that step by step, exactly what to do, holding your hand. If you want to learn how this works, we have got a awesome process that we will walk you through and show you how this works. And listen, I was that person myself. I was a model. I finally got in there and I know how tough it is. There's all these schools, but I'm going to eliminate all that for you. We've made it easier. We've looked at that process and actually made it so much more simple because we understand you. So opt in and watch this video. If you like it, great. If you don't, great. But what I can promise you is on the next page, you will have clarity, you will have vision, and you'll understand what to do regardless of what happens. So I'll see you on the next page. You just generated a lead from somebody that's actually serious about being a model. You now have this lead, and now you can start to drip on them the different aspects of what you're going to offer them. And it's really quite simple what you're going to do. You're going to make becoming a model actually possible for the average. Well, I won't say average, because to be a model, you got to be, a little bit above average. I guess. I don't know. I don't know shit about it. But what I do know is this: you are going to help them actually get you're going to get them to become a model faster, easier. It'll be more fun, and you'll get them to do this without having to go through all the rigmarole that maybe you had to go through. Am I correct? That's basically what it boils down to. I can't hear you, Gene. I don't know what happened.
Can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because that's exactly what I was saying to my girlfriend yesterday. Like, we have friends that, like, Cindy Crawford's daughter, like, it's just like when you have a parent, or like, example, like we have some friends that have parents that are like famous actors and actresses, and it's like they're getting their knowledge from their parents at a very young age to, like, just go in the right direction very quickly. Maybe they are getting contacts, but if you know how to get in contact with people and you know who they are, that's like first things first, right? So people that are just young, they have no idea who's who and what's what. So just like navigating them in that direction, and just kind of like avoiding wasting time.
Got it.
That's the goal. So yeah.
Excellent. So that had some resonation to it then, right? So what I said, you could see, obviously there needs some finesse, and I said a lot of things that probably weren't, but it's basically the idea of that. You're going to have two core funnels, and funnels are just, collect leads and convert them into what you want them to be. Here's the thing that you have to first ask yourself, or I need to know this, and then I can kind of adjust what I just said. Could you by yourself, okay, assuming that everything else is going to work the way you want it to, but just imagine, can you by yourself take a teen or some girl or guy that wants to be a model? Can you help them yourself and coach them and create the content yourself?
Yeah, I easily could. Yeah.
Okay. So round one, Elon Musk, I'm gonna jump into this. Elon Musk, he's an amazing designer, all this shit, right? Richest guy in the world, everything. He goes, and he'd already been super successful. And he goes, I went to NASA to try to get a contract. And he goes, even me being me, I had everything there. Nobody would do shit with me. He goes, I had the perfect blueprints. He goes, it wasn't until we built a living scale model of what we were doing and they could see it. He goes, I instantly got contracts. I instantly got the money. So what I would say to you is this.
So we've done that.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jump on the website for a second. You'll get an idea.
Yeah, we've built a website.
I'll do that later. I'll do that later with you. I got you. I'm not trying to push off. There's other people. Yeah. So I totally.
You're talking about.
Yeah. Just okay. Perfect. So you've already built a model of this.
Yes.
No pun intended. And then so you've got that built, and then you can actually coach and teach and do this stuff yourself, right?
I can. I just didn't know how much I was going to be the one coaching and being the face and interact. I like felt like.
No, I'm not saying you have to be. I'm not saying you have to be. What I'm trying to say is this. What the person, because you're looking for somebody that could be the coaches and be the things and all that stuff, right? Because it makes a lot of sense. And this is, obviously a way to scale and all these different things. And you can be the overseer and manage. And I get that, right? It's like you could go work at a hair salon, or you could own the hair salon and rent the chairs, right? There's a big difference. Even though you could cut the hair, it's better to do it that way, right? So what I'm getting at is this. If you can do that, remember one thing, you can make this once. It's the whole point of the website. You could make the training once and be in there forever. And then you can have other people come in, because I've got training now that I made once, and I could easily hire somebody and say, hey, I will pay you, master this content, and you're going to teach it to other people. Or I could find somebody that's already good at coaching, and I could say, hey, all you got to do is understand this and coach this to people. I'll pay you. All right. It's just going to be a numbers game of finding the person that actually wants to do that. They're passionate about it, all those things. But that would happen acceleratedly faster because we would do what we're talking about with all of the stuff that I do, which is how to get them out into how to get your information out there in front of the right people. But then you got to get them onto a, list or into a community where you can continue to drip on them.
Lost your audio. Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Lost my audio?
For a
Yeah,
second.
you're back.
Oh, shit. Okay. So the recording will have everything. But all you're going to do in essence is you need to attract the right people. Okay. And this is only going to happen by talking about it. The only reason that you guys are here is because I talk about what I do and you found it. And now you're here. And now I'm dripping on you in a sense. I know it sounds kind of weird, but like I'm dripping on you in a sense. And I, am trying to help you see the vision of what this can be. And you're either going to see it or you're not going to see it. And that's what will happen. All you need to do is realize we are attracting, converting, and delivering. It's as simple as connecting with people. But what you have to have is the ability to present your offer to them. And I mean, it sounds like you got, it sounds like you got the offer dialed in. It sounds like you've got the vision of what you see.
Yeah.
I know that we can go take bits and pieces from other modeling agencies that are doing this, and you can get ideas of like, what does that look like? Because we could just go find it right now. You're not the first one to come up with this idea, right? I mean, I'm certainly one of a shitload of people that do what I do, but I feel this crack the way I feel this crack, and you're going to feel that crack, and you can take it to multiple 7-figure levels. I mean, it can turn into whatever you want it to be, right? I mean, the big thing is it's not what, it's who. It's not what are we going to do, it's who's already doing it that we can improve upon.
Right.
Elon didn't come up with rockets or electric cars. He just made them better. So that's all you're going to do is somebody's already got the rocket. Somebody's already got the thing. You're going to look at it and be like, this is how we improve it. And then nobody is going to love your mission like you. Nobody's going to see it like you see it. But you need to take your passion, your love, your experience, and you need to be the initiator of starting it out there. Elon, after already making hundreds of millions of dollars, literally had to himself pitch NASA and pitch these companies to get this. And he could have paid anybody millions of dollars to do it. You just need to have that initial video. When somebody opts in, you need to be able to look that girl in the eye through the camera. And you need to be able to say to her or him, this is what this is. This is what it does for you. This is how the whole thing works, etc. Boom, 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 boom. And get them either, what's the process? They obviously have to be vetted.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
why I was going with friends of mine that I know have, done really phenomenal things in their career. You just have to, we're really in the early stages of it. I literally have just had first conversations with a handful of girlfriends. So,
well, you can easily accomplish this because this is, number one, an industry that will forever live. And number two, this is something that people are dying for your opportunity. They just they don't know it yet. And so what I would say is, don't worry about you being the face and being the coach and all those things. You're thinking about something that's not necessary to think about. All you need to think about is this. I need to show up on a video and I need to help them see the vision of this. And then as far as the vetting process and everything, it's pretty simple. The first one is, hey, if you're interested in this, schedule a call with us, answer a few of these questions, submit your photos. You're going to get an email. You're going to get an appointment, and you're going to get on Zoom with them, and you're going to vet the first few just so you have the system and the track pattern of what it needs to be. And then there are there's endless amount of people that can vet that process. Now, here's what Henry Ford did. He's like, I need a dodo bird to be able to do this so I can hire a bunch of people. and he put it on a systematic assembly line. So you didn't have to be a genius to make a car. You had to press the red button when it lit up. It was like click. So all you're going to do is you're going to have a set of, parameters that you could go to one of your girlfriends or the ones that are like really good at this stuff that have the experience. And they could probably tell you, yeah, every time a guy or girl stands in front of me or looks at me or tells me or whatever, I run through these different parameters and filters to decide. There's nothing at guess
Can I make
there.
a quick comment?
Yeah.
I think the two funnels that you talked about in terms of finding the models and finding the people that are interested, I think we need to focus on finding the people that are interested, because finding the models was the ones we're going to pay, and we can pick and choose on them. And I think they'll be an easier process for us, and as compared to, I mean, Gina could disagree with me, but as compared to finding the people who want to purchase the product, that they're going to be paying us, whereas we're going to be paying them with the other funnel.
Yeah. So
to be honest,
so which one do you assume you need more?
I'm thinking we need help with finding the people to come to the site, and not because they're paying us, whereas the other funnel, we're going to be paying them, and we can find the people fairly easily.
I agree with that. Yeah. The other side's easy. Hey guys, I have a bunch of money I need to give away.
Yeah, right.
That one's pretty easy. Oh, you used to be a model and you wish you could still be in that industry and you're not. Well, could I pay you $100,000 a year to vet people? And then coach them and make sure that they do these things. That's easy, right? Okay. But you can still set up both, because that filtering it's just like the modeling process, right? It's like you see a bazillion people, you pick 2, right? So it's going to be that same process on the other side. So that's easy. Now, getting the models to you, I see this as being like a piece of cake. Now, here's what I do think that you need to understand is, Gina, right now, you're going to have to probably either... The reason I'm frozen on this is because I always know that there's a lot of ways to do this, okay? I always tend to go to the one where it's like, I ain't waiting on somebody else to figure this shit out. I'll just do it myself. And then as soon as I got the pattern figured out, it's real easy to replace me. That's how I always think, right?
Okay.
So you could...
So what were you just saying the last couple sentences?
Oh yeah, cut out. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why this is doing this lately. I've got to fix it.
It was clear on mine.
Yeah.
Like
it's clear on the recording too.
Yeah, it was just my phone, so I didn't hear.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Listen, my computer is, I think it's on its way out. I don't know. It's kind of acting funny lately. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would do if I was you is I would get, and Kevin, we'll work on this on the call. Okay. And if Gina can be there or whatever, great. That'll just be all the better if you guys are doing this together, whatever. You're literally going to have a system of presenting your content. This is free. This is marketing content. Okay. Everybody that's on here right now, by the way, just take the word marketing and throw it in the trash and use the word educating. Because all marketing is education. You didn't know you wanted the thing until you learned about it. So instead of thinking of marketing, thinking about educating. If you go online, okay, like let's pretend that you are going to go live on TikTok, for instance.
Yeah.
You could go live on TikTok and you could have literally, I know this sounds silly, but if I was you, I would dress like somebody who wants to be a model would be attracted to. And I would stand in front of something that is got modeling, like, let me put it to you like this. If I was teaching how to be a fisherman, I would stand inside of a place that has fishing poles, lures, boats, and fishing shit around me. Because those people will stop scrolling right away when they see that, right? Okay. I will then say, all right, in today's live, I'm going to, for the next 30 minutes to an hour, I'm going to share with you 5 things that you can do right now to get into the modeling world without having to waste a bunch of time and energy and money. And I would deliver on that, and I would tell them, now, at any time and throughout the live, I would have little moments that I would come in, and usually it flows pretty good. I would come in and I would say, now, before we go to the second thing, I just want you to know, if you are curious about how to become a model, I have got a free workshop that I do. and you can go over and grab it. It's completely free. You can get in there and I'll give you some of the best things that you can do right now. And I also have a live workshop that we do each week, and you can jump on there and we can help you and show you what this looks like for you and educate you. All right, number 2.
I'm gonna jump
And then,
off here for a second.
okay. Then you do number 2. And then
Mhm.
after number 2, you mention that again. And then all of a sudden, Kevin, or
I don't know how to stop it.
yeah, well, I don't know what to say either. So the next
Sorry.
thing is here, I can
Just
mute
hang
it
on.
for you though. We'll just
Please.
there you go. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me mute it. Okay. All right. So the next thing is I would do that and I would get very consecutive with that. By the end of the week, if you did that consecutively every day for an hour, a freaking hour, okay? If you did that every day,
I think
by the
I'm doing it myself, you know, like I don't know if I'm gonna.
this
don't
is
know.
just in the beginning.
Okay.
This you're only setting the only thing that you're doing in the beginning is you're going to validate the system that will work, and then you just replace yourself. It's really easy to do that. Okay, it's really
Okay.
easy to do that. But you yourself have to get the system and the pattern figured out that somebody would come in behind you and do it. And then it can even get even crazier because you're in the perfect time ever to have like the most gorgeous, beautiful model ever saying the perfect things all day long, and they don't even know it's not even a real person. You could literally have this beautiful, lifelike, real AI model doing your live and talking about this stuff and getting them into the thing. Like, I know that sounds goofy and weird, but in a lot of cases, nobody would even know the difference. But I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you, like, now's a really weird time to be, not a weird time, but an interesting and opportunistic time to do a lot of things that you want to do with this. The most important thing is that you understand each and every day, you're going to need some form of content that's going out there and just presenting the education about what this is. And then you need to get them into your, what we call a funnel, or get them into a list that you can continue to educate them. And it just by pure natural, they're going to start submitting applications. They're going to start paying you to help them and coach them. And that's just the real answer of it.
Okay, great. So do you think people use YouTube for this? Like which funnels do they use
Let me
to?
ask you a question here.
Yeah.
What platform, as a model yourself, what platform do you use the most?
This is gonna sound, but I've never been into. That's why this is kind of like a big chance for me to do this, because I was the last person I know to join Facebook. I was the last person I know to join Instagram, and the last time I posted was like 3 years ago. So
I'm not talking
like,
about posting or anything like that. Like right now today, if I grabbed your phone, which one have you logged into the most?
probably TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch other people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what most people do. Most people just consume. They're not producing on it at all. And
Yeah.
and so here's the thing. You're not looking for somebody that's producing on it. You're looking for somebody that wants to be a model. So if you're a model and you're on TikTok, the chances of other girls or boys that want to be models are probably there too. And you know, Instagram, it just instantly I think of that because everybody's like posing on there anyway. It's kind of a picture platform, or Pinterest or any of those things. So think about that. All you've got to do is go there. If you were to catch a model, let's pretend we're fishing, but for models instead of fish. What is the bait that a model would be attracted to? What are things that catch you and stop you from scrolling as a model?
Oh, I mean, it's obviously first thing that comes to mind is someone's appearance. You know?
Okay.
Like how they look, and if they look put together and fashionable, then obviously you know their name. That's a whole nother.
Okay, but what about this? If you were scrolling and you seen like a fashion runway happening, it was like a still picture of it, or maybe it was just a woman walking down a fashion runway, would that stop you?
Yes.
Okay. So anybody else that dreams of being a model, that would probably stop them too.
Yes. So creating content from your work, essentially. Yeah.
Well, if
Which,
I want to catch firefighters, I just show a red fire truck and they have to look. It's part of their DNA.
yeah.
And after I get them to look, guess
I,
what the next thing is? They see
yeah.
the fashion show thing going for like 2-3 seconds, and then I go, have you ever thought about actually being a model? You want to, but the thought of even getting into it, just you don't even know what to think about. You don't even know
Right.
what to do. Like, what are the actual first steps? You know that you've grown up through life, and a lot of people have always told you, wow, you're pretty, or wow, you could be a model, or you're gorgeous, or all these things, and you actually are excited about something like that, but you have no idea even where to start or if you qualify. So what I've done as a model myself, and as somebody that has done this, and created a great career out of it, I want to show you the 5 things. If I were to go back to myself as a teen, knowing what I know now, I want to show you the 5 things that I would do immediately to get my best chance of becoming a model. Click right here down below. There's a link in this post. Click right here and go over to this page. And I want to show you this for free because I understand what it's like to be that and not know, but I know how amazing this industry is. So I'll see you over there.
Right. And
And
then you create that.
and then
Right.
you have that piece of content that educates them and gets them to apply to get vetted, because I think every person that wants to be a model for real, like they really want to be one, they probably want a model to uh vet them, or they probably want to know, what do I have what it takes to be one?
What are my stats? What's the direction I need to go?
What's the reality of me actually being one based off of my appearance and where I'm at? Because if I can't be that, then I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So that's a very valuable thing that you would be offering someone like that.
Yeah. And there's various types of modeling, and some
Sure.
people all the above, but some
Right.
people will. Some people could do all of it. It just matters on the person's stats,
So that's what you essentially need. Is you need bait, just like catching a fish. What does the fish eat? Throw a hook in it and throw it out there where the fish are. We know where they're at. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. I promise you, they're on both of those platforms in droves. And now they're everywhere. But in reality, they're probably looking at other people and pictures just like you probably do when you look at those platforms. So that's the bait. We know where they are. Now all we have to
Mhm.
do is put that out there and then give them something to bite down on. Like, give them a hook, and the hook is, give us your email and I will show you the secrets of becoming a model faster, easier, and and while having fun. And what I would do if I went back to help myself years ago. And we're going to help you and give you, it's like, if you want to get somebody that, like, if I want to get a coaching client, the best thing I can do is coach them a little bit for free. It's like, how do you get somebody hooked on drugs? You give them a little bit of the drug. How do you get somebody to come in and buy the whole plate of Chinese food? You put a little piece of the Chinese food that's on the plate on a toothpick, and when they walk past you in the mall at the food court, you're like, here. And they eat it and they're like, oh shit, that's good. I'll grab a plate of that. That's all you're doing with this, is you're putting a little bit of that out there, and you're enticing them in, and it's all it is.
Okay. I think I know, the videos for the tutors or the teachers on the site. I think even creating that content to push out for, as you said, the bait on these social media, because an introduction is always nice. Like if they don't know your face or your name, a quick pitch of who you are. Obviously, getting people that are really well known would be the best.
Well,
But
that's what you think, right? So that's what you think. And obviously that would be like, right. So if Tyra Banks was like, hey, or something like that, or whoever, I don't know. I don't study enough models or anything. But what I can say is this: nobody knows who the hell I am. I just look like a normal schmo out there. But then when they get a little bit of the content, they might hear one thing, and they go, huh, that schmo actually knows a few things. And then what happens is they're like, I'll check back. And then I'll say something like, hey, let me show you what I've been talking about here. Let me show it to you how it really actually works for free. They opt in, and now I've got them in my bucket, and I can chum
Yeah.
the waters now. So they
Yeah.
don't need to know, you don't need to be somebody special. Like, you don't need to be some big name. You need to get to know, they need to get to know you. They need to know that you have been there before.
Alluring and likable enough to where they want to click on the next link, or submit their email to get more information. So
Well,
I
the
see what
truth,
you're saying.
yeah. But there's things that you can say. You probably, if you're a model, you probably have pretty large collections of proof that you are a model, right? You probably have tons of pictures of you modeling, or videos of you walking down the runways and all that stuff. So all you have to do is get enough of their attention with that and say, let me show you how I was able to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a
Got it.
fisherman standing there holding two big fish going, you want me to show you how I caught these? It's like,
Yeah.
that's the same thing that you're going to do.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and really utilizing the platforms of social media to do that.
That's where the people
That's
are.
for the funnel, or
Yeah, the funnel is
funnel.
just a page that we send them to, where they can give us their name and email. And then on the next page, after they do that, like the moment they give us their name and email, they hit submit, and they go to the next page, and poof, there you are saying, all right, now I'm going to help you, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to actually become a model. And I'm going to save you a ton of time doing this. And let me just, you're probably like, yeah, who are you? Well, let me just show you a couple things that I've done. Okay, here's me walking down the runway. Here's me doing this. Here's some of my stuff. And I just have always thought, wow, what if I could do this online and help coach you online and save you a ton of time, money, effort, and pain and suffering. And I could help you become a model better and coach you along the way so that you can also experience something like this. So I've got 5 things that I want to share with you. And you just give them, like, you're not going deep on this stuff. You're showing them the what, not the how. And then they go, wow, she actually knows a lot about this. This actually would be great if I could do this. So I wonder if I can. And then that's about the time where you're going, if you want me to find out if this is a fit for you, and you want me to give you an action plan and a game plan, I'll set up a free, it's a free 30-minute modeling action plan or strategy session or discovery call. And what will happen is you and I will get on Zoom, and you'll answer a few questions just so I know who you are, what you want to do, and to see if your mind is at where it needs to be. And then we'll get on that call, and then we'll find out where you're at, where you want to be, and what's holding you back. And then from there, I can give you direction on what would be best for you to do. And if you want, and if you ask for it, I will offer and show you how we can help you. So jump on that call. It'll be one of the best things you do in all of 2024. And I promise you, you will leave that call going, wow, I'm so glad I did this. You'll have clarity, you'll have direction, and at least you will know. So click down below. I've opened up the next 4 days on my schedule. I can't take a lot of people. So if you're serious about this, you better do it right now. And that's kind of what you say and do.
Yeah, I feel like generating that type of video to bait them, as you said.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. And then the way we kind of structured it already is like having different categories. Specifically, once we can help them, I guess, for having an assessment of them first.
Once you have the fish, you can fix them up however you want.
Yeah. I figured we figured that we would take the fish and give opportunity to delve into whatever topics interest them. And then once they get a certain amount of knowledge, feels good for them, then stay with us. Like, I wasn't going to give them one-on-ones until they kind of got a little bit of the basics of, the down, so that they were a little bit more knowledgeable. I wasn't talking to somebody that knew nothing about.
Right.
That makes
And
sense.
that's going to come through the video, how you decide to explain the video. But what you want to do is, because how much are you going to charge these people to coach them?
Yeah, I was going to charge courses, and in addition to whatever course they feel are applicable to them. Like if they're 5'4" and they're having this idea that they want to be a runway or a fashion, it's not going to happen.
Right. That
So,
gets vetted out in the video before they even apply for anything. Everything that you need, you can filter ahead of the time. Because same with me, I tell people, listen, if you're not willing to do X, Y, and Z, and you're not doing this, don't even apply, because you're not gonna get the call. But assuming that you do, and this is what goes into making that video. And anybody that's listening to this right now, I know we're talking about modeling, but it doesn't matter if it's modeling or whatever you want to do. It's the same process, it's the same focus, it's the same stuff. So you're actually learning a lot right now if you're listening outside of what's the subject, okay? So again, back to it, you with what we've been talking about, the video itself, you're going to actually say, if you don't meet this height for the ride, then you're probably not going to get the ride.
Mike, honestly, I don't want any girl, if she has a dream, or any boy that has a dream to do something, I want to educate them, to give them the knowledge they need to have an understanding of the expectations. Because when I went into it, I had no idea that when I went into my agency, they were going to just boom, boom, start measuring me up and doing my measurement. And I was
Commercial break. No. Well, you froze up. I don't know. But the show must go on. When you come back, we'll continue. Craig or Ian, anything? You guys got any questions? Until she unfreezes?
Yeah, it's too bad. I've been a long time listener now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate all your content and everything. I consume it daily, it seems like. But no, everything I've been working on is a lot what you do. It was funny though, when I first met you online, or I told my wife a day before I first met you, was I need somebody that does this stuff, and then you showed up the next day. So it's kind of funny, eh? You ask and you shall receive type thing. So I don't really know, like I think I'm just probably behind on my camera work, really just getting in front of the camera. I'm sure I've told you on through texts there or whatever, but I have all my steps, the roadmap that you show, the 3x3 is fantastic. That was a game changer for me. And having a map that shows that, like, hey, I know how to take you through the minefield, like you talk about, and all that. But yeah, it's just the camera work that's the problem.
So what about it? What about it is the problem? Because if we can fix this problem, then you're on your way to the next problem. But
I realize it's a problem just because, like, I haven't been able to find a way to edit my videos because, I think it might be a one taker. I'm not a one taker, and you gotta like find a way to like edit it all up. So I don't know the process that you do, because I've seen some of your VSLs are all chopped up, which you almost don't notice, but I actually had a critical eye and I saw it.
Oh, they're all cut up, yeah.
Like a one taker, which was awesome. But like that's the process, like that I'm missing.
So here's something that you can do: is you can what kind of computer do you have?
I got a 2011 MacBook Pro.
Okay, perfect. So you can download you can use either Movie Maker or iMovie or whatever it is. You can use iMovie. I've made a shit ton of videos on iMovie. Or you can get a program called ScreenFlow, or you can just not give a shit and you can create the damn video. And when you screw up, you can be like, ah, sorry about that. What I meant was, and I'm serious, because you,
Yeah.
I mean, or you can, you know, find another little thing called CapCut, which is like, I don't know, few bucks or something. And then
Yeah, I
you
got
can,
CapCut.
yeah, if you have CapCut, then you can do it. And if you don't know how to edit with CapCut, you just need a good 1.5 hours, 2 hours on YouTube learning how to do it and practicing it, and then you got it.
Okay.
You don't have, the problem is not the video or video editing. You're a resourceful man. You can get that done. You use CapCut. I use CapCut for practically everything. Like, it is the simplest, fastest way to cut things up. You can just shoot it on your phone. Your phone is perfectly clear right now. I mean, you look perfectly clear. You can shoot it on your phone, whether it's horizontal or vertical, and then you can use CapCut, go in there, split, delete, split, delete. You just cut out the parts you want and delete them. And the best way to do it in the beginning, if you're new to video, is just create a slideshow. On my first videos and the videos that made me a absolute crap ton of money, you didn't even see me. You just seen a picture of me in the corner, but it was just a picture. And then I just went through a slideshow and I did a voiceover. And
Okay.
then you can edit that too. So,
All right.
yeah, the best thing to do is just start doing it. And remember, it's not about you, it's about them. And they don't, you could take you could still shot the picture of you right now and put it down in the corner, and you could do, that's it. That's you. And then you could just create the video, a slideshow voiceover, and that will work.
Okay.
And as you do it, you'll probably get to a place where you're just like, fuck it. And you just like you just press record and you're like, all right, guys, what's up? Because it'll happen.
Yeah,
You'll get so, you know, it's kind of like the first time you do anything, you're like, oh shit, this is hard and stuff. And then by the end of it, you're like half asleep and you can do it.
Yeah. I kind of
That's how
feel
this
like I've
gets.
been there and then fell back, and then now I just like I got to snowball it, get the momentum going, and kind of piece it all together. Because some days I wake up, I'm raring to go, and then other days like, ah, Jesus, like, what am I doing?
Every other day is like that for me. So like today I woke up hyper excited, jacked. Tomorrow I can almost predict it. I'll feel, because I'll burn up so much dopamine and serotonin today being all crazy, that tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll be like, ugh. But then it's like, well, I can pretend that, you know, I suck at this and like that I'm not ready and stuff, or I can just be like, you know, shut up, little voice. I'm going to go help some people. And I always get out of my own way. And there's times, many times, many times, I've probably been speaking to you directly, and I have just felt like complete shit. And I have felt like I don't have a full confidence feeling. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I just go do it anyway, because I'm like, you know what? It's not about me. It's about them. And all I want to do is just show up. And I'll promise you, if I can just do one thing here, is you're never going to get snowball. You're never going to get momentum. You're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel confident. You're never going to feel that ever. Ever. It's like, it always changes and feels odd. So just, if we know that it's never, ever going to feel this way, then forget about it. We don't use that as a measurement of whether we're going to do it or not. And we just instead say, I have to put out these videos. I got to move the rocks from the left to the right side of the table every day, because that's my mandatory things. And you just get on and do the video. And my thing is like this, like, if I go out and do a video and my friends or my family or my mother or my friend or my people, if they want to talk shit on me, then fuck you, because I'm out here trying. Okay. What are you doing? Like, I'm trying to actually help somebody. Like, if you want to make fun of me, are you really my friend? Are you really my family? Are you really like somebody that I even want around me? The real people root for you. The real people are like, dude, holy shit. Like, you just need to go be you and just actually care about them and the way that you want to help them. and you will have a crowd around you. People will be like, wow. You will have like Danny DeVito, okay? Short little, has a I mean, this guy's not like a freaking, he's not a beautiful person, right? Like, I mean, but I
Yeah.
hate even saying that because he is beautiful in the way that he don't give
Yeah.
a shit, and he's powerful, and he stands up and he stands in his own body, and he tries to, it's about the people, and so he is beautiful. It's like you look at him, you're like, oh, it's Danny DeVito. You're like, I love that guy. But any other person that is not doing that, they see a Danny DeVito looking character and they're like, net swipe, whatever, which way, I don't know. But like, that's the thing that I'm trying to say is you will have to design this person. Like I wasn't this person. I had to make this person that you're experiencing right now. Like I have to work on this person every day so that he can show up like this. And there's many times where I may sound confident or I may feel confident, but inside I feel like a little bitch, or I feel like a freaking loser, or I feel like somebody that, and those are, I want to tell you that because so many people could be making such a big impact and doing such incredible things, but they're too worried about what people think about them. And
Yeah.
they're too worried about how they might feel when somebody says shit to them. And I'm just like, I want you to know that you have greatness in you. Like everybody has incredible shit in their head. I'm not talking woo woo. You can do it after school. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm seriously like, you have lived long enough and figured out enough stuff that you could save the person several chapters behind you in this book called Life. You could save them a ton of like errors, like you said, getting through the minefield. And you could create a life for yourself that would be so goddamn amazing. And like you right now, the truth is you're probably down on yourself. You probably wish you were further along at this point. You probably feel like, because I feel this way to this second, like I should have done more. I should have paid attention more. I should have all this shit more. But that's okay because everybody feels like that all the time. Everybody feels weird all the time. Like nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They'll try to convince you and themselves that they do, but they don't. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. But if you can just decide, okay, I don't give a shit about that. I'm gonna go crazy and get passionate and be in love and have fun with this thing. And I'm gonna help people the best of my ability. You're never gonna fall backwards giving more than what people expect. You're never gonna fall backwards over delivering. You're never gonna fall backwards trying the best you can. And you're never ever gonna fall backwards if you show up, because here's the trick. There might be 1,000 million people that are better at this shit than you are and will always be better at it than you are, always. But they don't show up all the time, so you beat them because you show up all the time. That's the trick. The hardest trick in the book is nobody gets momentum. Nobody gets the shit done because they're too busy being busy and not just showing up. And they're too busy convincing themselves that it's not the right time or it's not the right day or it's not the right feeling. But you got to leave all that shit over on the table. You can go grab it later when you're done. But for right now, we just got to show up each day and we got to follow our little system that we put in place. And we just got to be there for those people. And I promise you, starting from absolutely nothing, if I lost my list, everything, if I lost every single thing that I have and I had to start from complete and utter brand new ground zero, I literally would do whatever it took. I would create as many TikToks as I had to create to get to 1,000 followers. And then as soon as I got to 1,000 followers, or even prior to that, I would find some place where I could go live every single day for 1 hour. Because more than any other time in history, with all the robots and AIs and fake shit and all that stuff, you going live and being authentic and being there every day for those people to ask you questions and for you to learn how to talk to them and answer their questions and be insecure when you do it and do all those things. If you just show up every single flipping day at the same time, caring about them and helping them, but then also saying, now, if you want my help even more, you can buy this thing and you will get more of me, more organized, and we will help you do it faster, easier, in more fun ways. And I'll save you the time that it took me to get here. And if you just offer that and then show up and help them do that, you'll have everything you want and more, because it's not going to give you back 1-to-1. It's going to get, you're going to put 1 in and you're going to get 100 back. It gives back in exponentials. So you don't have an editing problem, because right now you don't have a video problem. You don't have a snowball problem. None of those things. Okay. Because right now I know that if you and your family and everybody and everything that you cared about was held at gunpoint and was half a trigger pull away from being exploded, and somebody said to you, hey, you just got to go live every day for an hour and we'll give you everything that you want and everybody will be protected, secured, and you will have a great life and nobody will get hurt here, your ass would do that. Your ass would do it without question, regardless of what it is. You would do it right there in your car.
It's really great advice. Honestly, I've been on some sets with some pretty big actors before, and you think they're probably the most confident people in the world, but you see them, they're nervous the first day. They show up, they do 30 takes for something, and the first 5-10 takes, they're falling flat on their face and they're missing their lines and they're nervous as hell. But then by take 20, they're shining as the superstar that they are, that everyone knows them as in the public. But they failed, 20 times before that, and they felt insecure and bad about themselves and unsure and all these things you're talking about. So this is really great advice, because I've been around a lot of performers, and everyone always thinks performers are the most confident people on the planet, but I'll tell you, they're probably some of the most insecure people I've ever met, models and actresses. And it's funny because they're portrayed as like these super confident people, but it's just because they get up and do exactly what you're saying every day. They just get up and they just do it. And if they fail, they just say, excuse my language, fuck it. And they just keep going.
100%.
And they fall on their face again, even after they've succeeded a million times. And then they fall on their face again. And then they feel like shit. And then they get back up and they do it again. And they just keep going. And like, it's just like a momentum where you're like, you know what? And one of my friends the other day said to me, because I was like, because I was just talking about work and stuff. And he said, because we were just talking about an actress. And he said, yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck. She just keeps going. And I'm like, and when you have that mentality, it's like you can get knocked down and feel like crap and feel, whatever, feel bad about yourself, feel not smart enough, feel not pretty, fat, ugly, blah, blah, blah. Like even it's crazy. I have some really beautiful friends that feel ugly. They are so hard on themselves. And I'm like looking at this person going, God, you're stunning. Like, who are you looking at? But even what you said about Danny DeVito, like I've seen him in person. He's nothing, really, but he's really interesting. And you talk to him and you're like, this person is like, you are drawn to them because of the allure of who they are. And when you take what's the word, notion and who they are, and you're like, wow, I'm drawn to this person, that's what keeps you going back for more. And then you want to learn and grow and just, because it's that energy you get from interacting. So
1000%. And thank you so much for sharing that, being at a level where you could use very, very powerful comparisons and analogies and like examples, because the truth is, like, I couldn't rattle and talk like this at one point. I could none of this shit. And still, frankly, like I got to a place where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to be me, and who loves me, and they'll come along and I'll help them, and on we go. And you get to a place where it's like you care so much that you stop caring. But you care, but you still have more concern, love, and care than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And here it's really an awkward place, or it's not awkward place. It's a really odd place that happens. And you get there and and you get there and you're like, damn, it was here the whole time. And I had this damn thing in me the whole time. And for some odd reason, it's like, and then it pops out of you. But here's the cool thing. People are going to love you for you. People that connect with you are the people that are going to connect with you and nobody else. And you need 1,000 true fans. And if 1,000 people give you $1 a day for the rest of your life is going to be fantastic. Okay. And that's just the beginning, because they all have a friend. So you just need to start, and you need to let yourself look like shit. And every time, and you won't look like shit. People will be like, damn, I wish I had that. They'll while they're typing the shitty comment, their other part of their brain's going, yeah, you wish you were that fucking confident to do that, you piece of shit. Like that's literally what's happening to them. And anybody that's going to do that anyway, like they need, like, feel sorry for that person, that's how hurt inside they are, right? Like that they're, So what I want you to realize is you already are enough. You already have the stuff. We just need you to do it. And just show up each day. Like I treat this every single day. I treat this like I got to feed the cows or the cows die. I grew up on a farm doing farm shit. I live in Kansas. So it's like, it was like, it didn't matter. Rain, sleet, blowing snow, hail. It didn't matter what the hell was going on. My grandpa would get up, give the cows water, and feed them every day. There was no thought. It didn't matter if he was sick. It didn't matter. Nothing, because that was the thing that made everything else work. And so I just look at it like, you know what? And I'll tell you what, here's the crazy thing. It will become the thing that you love the most about your day. You will actually crave doing it. It just, you got to do it enough to get past that one point. I'll never forget, this just recently happened. You know, the Goldberg, the Gold, I think it's Goldberg, you know, the big, strong John 3:16 wrestler guy, like whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is. Feed the cow.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Oh yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know this guy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that guy's, you know, crushing beers
Yeah.
and all this shit. He was supposed to do the cold plunge thing. He gets in it the first time and he's like, I had to get out like 30 seconds later because that shit was too cold. Like he sissied out. And he says that. I sissied out. And he goes, I got to do this again. And he's going like live or on a video. And he's like, he's crawling into it. And he's like so cold and he's freezing. And he's like, and he gets to about a minute and he goes, if you guys can just hold the pain till you get to a minute, you don't feel it no more. And it's actually, he's like, I could sit in here for 10 more minutes. And that's kind of how this is. If you can just get past that initial, like, ooh, it just like all of a sudden it just slips off. And then it's like, wow, damn. Then you can just slide right in. Yeah, but you're always going to feel a little bit of that. Oof. Like Tony Robbins said the other day, he was talking to Theo Vaughn. He goes, still to this day, I've been doing it for 30 plus years. I dread going and jumping in the cold plunge because every time I get out of it, I feel flipping amazing. And this is the same thing that happens here. You will just be like, and I'll mark my words, after even a week of being consistent each day, or, you know, and then further on from that, you will look back and be like, what the hell was I like? Why was I so, why did I wait so long? Why did I think that was so much more than it was? What you'll just be like, what the heck? Like you can't get your head around it. You're just like glad that you got past it. Right. So I tell you, you just got to do it. You just got to go screw it up. I always ask myself, like, what's the worst that could happen here? Can I deal with what the worst is that could happen? And I don't even know, like, if I tried to say what is the worst thing that could happen if I just start creating videos and posting them online? Like, what is the worst that could happen? And I can't even come up with anything worth a shit saying. Because when I say it, I'm like, wow, you are a sissy. That's what I say to myself. I'm like, you're scared of that. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm like, yeah, okay, probably ought to just do it. And then if you know how many video I have, it shows on my YouTube channel that I have like 600 videos on there. There's like 6,000. Like there's so many. I went in there. I'm like, shut that off, and I'll have to go back now. Shit, if I go back now, just even 6 months, right? I've been doing this for 15 years. If I go back 6 months, I would shut half of them off and start again because I've grown so much. And if you can't look back in 30, 60, 90 days and beyond and be like, oh shit, that sucked, then you ain't doing nothing because you haven't grown from that point yet. So it's kind of a measure of that you're doing the right thing and growing when you look back 90 days and you go, damn, that shit sucked. Because that's a good thing. You're like, because you've grown so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Growing pains.
And then
I'm definitely right in that first 10 seconds.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I get it. But you have nothing at all to worry about. The fact that you're here right now and in the function of doing it is oodles and universes away from 99.9% of people. Please understand that. Like the step that you're taking, and I'm not saying this because that's what people say. I'm not saying this because of some brownie nose bullshit. Like I'm telling you the truth. Like for you to be following me as long as you have and being here right now and hearing this and doing this, you are like eons ahead of where you were, and you're eons ahead of most people. And listen, the only trick to win is show up and give a shit. Those are the only two things that you got to do is show up every stinking day and give a shit about helping them, and don't worry about yourself. Because if you
That's
help
exactly
if you
the
help
LA,
everybody
my,
else solve their problem, your problems, I promise, will go away. I promise you. That's it.
yeah, I have to up. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you for this. This has been a great
Yeah,
Yeah,
chat.
Mike,
no.
your stuff's always great, and I don't really miss it at all, as you know.
Yeah, and I know. And I see you're here, dude. Like you are just, it's that next decision. You're like a decision away. You're like one, like as Russell Brunson always says, you're one funnel away. You know, like you're just one decision away, and you're just gonna, everything will change and you can do it. Like, I know it's not really a video editing problem. I know it's none of that shit. And you do too. It's literally just, you got to step out into it. It's ready. You got to set in there for at least a minute. But that's why I'm here. You can come back to me and be like, "Ugh," and I'll be like, ah, you know, and like, we can keep going. Like this is what this is. Like, that's why
Yeah.
that's why even like, think about the absolute and utter best people on planet Earth have coaches. Why? Because the
Yeah.
moment they get into that stinking head, the coach come by, he's like, you're all right, let's go. Come on. Like, that's what this is. That's why it's a team effort, and you come back here. That's what it is. And so just go do it. Go look stupid. You won't look stupid. Go.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen except for you are going to step into a life that has been in front of you the whole time, and you're going to realize it. And the moment you have it, it'll feel like you never didn't have it. And that's the coolest thing ever. That's the neatest thing about time. It's like the moment you have it. I just had a guy today on our call in Build Lab. He was kind of in your exact same shoes. And he kept hearing me say this, and I kept beating him up like this, and I kept pushing him, and I kept shoving on him, and I said da 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 da. And he finally just got to a place. I mean, he got to a dark place with me in the chats, and he finally just was like, "Fuck it," and he just did it. And then all of a sudden, everything opened up, and he's like, today on the call, he's like just razzled with energy, and he's like, "Dude, I'm so glad. Like, thank you." And like, he's stepping into this thing, and he learned how to make money online. And that's why the whole brand is called Make Once. Because once you learn this once you learn how to make it once, you'll always have it, and nobody can take it from you. And all you have to do is keep showing up and keep caring about them, because them is who pays you. Them is who supports you. Them is who catapults you out into the universe in other ways. So it's the most beautiful thing. And you just got to go. You got to jump. And the moment you do, just don't look back. And every day you're going to have shitty moments. Every day you're going to have these feelings. Like you get really good at, like, now I notice them, and I sound even more crazier because I'm in here. I'm like, "Oh, nice try, buddy. No, F off." Or like, I'm like, nah, 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 nah. Like, I see you coming. I see you creeping in here to try to take over my thoughts right now. Like, you'll see this shit coming, and it's cool. So
Yeah, the video made really hit hard. Yeah,
you can do
by
it,
the
man.
voice. Yeah. Okay.
Listen, it is hard to come out of the place you're in right now. It is. It feels like it makes you, I don't care how rough and tough of a guy you are, it makes you emotional. It makes you feel like, and you don't even realize you're in it. It's the sad thing. Like, it's not a sad thing. It's just the way it is. But it's weird that you have like movie star tiger level confidence in you. You're just deciding not to step into it because you're using the outside world and you're using comparatives, and that's the worst thing that you can do, because you're not ever competing with anybody else. You're never ever competing with anybody else, because everybody that comes to you won't come to me because they don't like me. They like your personality. And the example that can ring true here is this. I used to love math, but now that we got this new teacher, I fucking hate math. It wasn't math. It wasn't the math. It was the person. So think about it. You're going to appeal to people that other people can't stand, and you're going to be something that everybody else was looking for, and you're going to be their hero, and you're going to make them the hero. And that's the trick. All the stories, they're not me stories, they're we stories. That's the trick. It's about them. I mean, think about it. If you were dying from brain cancer and you had 30 minutes left to live, and I had a pill that when you took the pill in 10 seconds, you were completely healthy, cancer-free, you wouldn't care if I had a foot, an asshole, and shit smeared all over my face. You wouldn't care. All you want is the pill. So it's not about anything else other than how can you help that person? That's the only thing that matters. And everything else from there will glow and do its thing, and it won't matter. So just go, teach it, do it. And if you don't feel like you know how to teach it, how else are you going to learn besides teaching it? How else do you become a teacher until you teach something that you've never taught before? So just start teaching it. All imposter syndrome is, all it is that's what it feels like when you near the edge of the comfort zone. Kind of like when you get close to a stove, you start feeling the warmth. And then if you touch it, it's like, ow. And then after that, you're like, okay. And then you pass that point. It's the same thing here. The imposter syndrome is just real simple to fix. Talk about what you know. And the people that don't know that yet are going to think you know everything because they don't know it and you do. So talk about what you know. And then the feeling you get of like imposter syndrome or who would listen to me and all that stuff, just every time you recognize that, every time you feel that, say, oh yeah, well, of course, because I'll never be an expert if I don't start teaching this stuff and doing this stuff, because that's the only way to be an expert. So this is just that weird feeling of like getting close to the edge of like flipping over to the other side. And you just, that's it. And you just do it anyway. It's like, okay, whatever, do it anyway. Just move the rock. Don't get emotional about it. We give you everything you want. Just move the rock from here to here every day. That's all you got to do is just move the rock. Move the rock. That's it. And if you do that every day, you'll have everything.
All right.
I don't mean to go
Sounds
hard
good.
on you like this, but like I do, because you know it's out of love and you know it's out of like I literally like can feel the feeling that you have. Because I've been there.
Well, our
Everybody's been
stories
there.
are very similar, by the way.
Yeah.
Very relatable. Yeah.
And that's why you're here. And your stories, there's a ton of people that when you share your story, and what I found out is I was always like, I don't know how to share my story. I was always fucked with that. I was like, how do I do this? How do I actually share my story? I was always like screwed up because everybody's like, dude, share stories, you'll make money. And I was like, no, you jackass, listen, just talk about shit that you know and help people. And by just natural, you're going to start sharing your story because it just flies out of you. And you just share little bits and pieces here and there, and people start putting it together. And it's never like you just sit down and be like, when I was a baby, and then when I went to first grade, like that's what I thought it was. Like, you know, and this is a like recent discovery, by the way. Like, it's like, I'm just like, oh yeah, just go. So you've got this shit, man. You are right there. Like every day that I see you pop up, I'm like, I'm just waiting for that like moment you jump. And it's like, you can do it right now today. You can be like, fuck it today, from this day forward, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to show up every day. I'm going to post every day, come hell or high water. You're going to set that section of the day aside, like you do to brush your teeth, like you do to bathe your body, like you do to feed yourself. And you're just going to say every day at this time, if I don't know what to say, I'll tell them I don't know what to say, but here's something I know what to say. It doesn't matter. And
Okay,
you're just going to go live on some platform. Just go live. If go, because the live will teach you how to communicate. It'll teach you how to speak. Do a live workshop in a Zoom each week. That's the best thing you could ever do. Most people are 50 presentations away from $1 million. That's true. Those are real math. Most people are 50 presentations away, live presentations away from $1 million. So I was like, well, shit, there's 52 weeks in a year. Fuck it. Every week I'm doing one. And I've been doing them.
all right.
And you can do
You
it.
have. Yeah.
And I've already made $1 million. And I'm still like doing, I'm like, fuck it, if that's the math, shit, I will always do them till I'm dead, because I always want $1 million coming in. So
All right. Sounds good.
I'm here for you. And when you feel like shit, come on back and I'll slap you around again in love and care and concern, because I just see myself in you. And I just want you to have it. And the fact that you're here is a fucking huge, huge thing. Like, do you see anybody else here? You know what I'm saying?
Really.
No,
My
you
brother's
don't.
there.
Yeah. But that's it. So that is a lot. And find you a homie. And sometimes your homie's the mirror. You know? And so just I listen, I don't want to keep carrying on, but I want you to know that it is right there for you. And if anybody that is listening to this later, it's right there for you too. You just got to fucking do it. You just got to do it. You just got to step into it. It's more about the showing up each day, because you will learn more by doing than you ever will in a book or watching someone else or learning everything. I'm not saying there's not a place for, learning how to put some things together that somebody else has already put together, because obviously if you have the instructions, it'll go faster than if you're trying to figure it out like without the instructions. Okay. But I'm saying once you start hearing the same instructions over and over and over and over again, then we have to look at other things. And those other things are typically just, you're not showing up. And you're not showing up, not because you suck, not because you can't, not because you're dumb, not because you're stupid, not because of anything. You're just being a human. And the moment you recognize that, then you can say, oh, well, this is just some human shit. And you can set it over here and say, I got to move the rock from here to here. And if you do that consistently, that's it. You'll have it. And you'll learn everything through that process. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, my man. Anybody else have any other questions? Gina?
No, thank you. I appreciate listening to you. So thank you.
Excellent. And I really appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing everything about what you're doing. And I love what you're doing. I love that idea. I think it's very, very, very awesome. I think you just,
Thank you.
I'm going to meet with Kevin, and I don't, whoever
He
here later.
texted me. Yeah, Kevin. He was helping me build the business plan and the website. So he's been super helpful. I really don't know much about doing all of that. So that's why his main question was, how do we funnel people to the site? So
I'll have that. I mean, it's in this recording one, and it's, obviously pretty high level and vague, but tonight, or later this evening, I will be with him, and you're more than welcome to join. And if you can or whatever. And so you can ask him I'll send, if you email me, mike@makeonce.com, I will send you the Zoom link as well, since you guys are partners or whatever.
Cool.
And then we can jump on there. And I like that idea, because it's just going to be better, because we'll have more inputs. And then, so we'll get that lined out. And then
he just texted me his contractor showed up. That's why he had to jump off.
Yeah, no worries.
But,
I get it.
Very cool. Thanks, Mike. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And Craig, I didn't know you and Ian are homies. I guess I should have looked at the back of your names. but very good. Well, listen, I think that was a lot for today, and I think it's good. And we'll end it there. And we'll be on here next week. We'll be talking about something. So I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you. I'll see you guys all soon.
Very cool. Thanks, Mike.
All right, you got it. See you.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.